Hi, Modest Vegan Chick. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. So I am finally back out in the garden. Told you guys I would do a backyard garden tour. The weather was actually much nicer a few days ago, but I spent that time raking leaves over the entire backyard, which was a real chore. So we are expecting snow tomorrow, so I thought I would go ahead and do the tour, even though I have some more chores I need to do in the garden. So I'm going to start where I left off over here at the entrance to the backyard. So, excuse all the mud. It was actually caked with leaves in the pathway in the garden and some other areas. So when you leave your leaves too long, with all the snow that we've had, creates a muddy mess when you clean up. All right, so that is the arbor leading into my backyard. And over here to my left, I have a concrete water fountain that I have covered up for the winter. So I can't wait to get that set back up. Here's a little rhododendron. It is a Taurus rhododendron. And it's looking like it might actually bloom. Looks pretty good. And then in these pots right inside of the arbor, these have hostas in them, one on each side. And these are some beautiful hostas called designer jeans. They're real beautiful, like a chartreuse green. Okay, it is really cold out here today, so hopefully I can get everything in before I freeze. This is a lemon lace elderberry. Matter of fact, this whole area all the way down is called my elder garden, because originally I planted a lot of elderberry plants or shrubs, trees along this stretch here, but unfortunately the deer got to a lot of them, and so I started planting other things. As you can see, lots of evergreens. So even though it is still called the elder garden, the name just sticks. There's not a lot of elderberry or elder bushes to see. Okay, so also have a lot of hostas in this area as well, because this is part shade. This border here is some Japanese spurge. This is my beloved 6-ball mint juniper evergreen topiary tree. And here are the ladies' mantle. 3 of those. I did a video on those. I have some ivy in this concrete pot. This area, I have a bunch of azaleas kind of surrounding my beautiful concrete statue here. And she is Rebecca. It's kind of a conversation piece in the garden because people always want to know what's her name. And she is Rebecca at the well. Rebecca from the Bible, if you're familiar with that story. And then right in front of her, this is a bobo hydrangea. There's also some ajuga. This is a variegated ajuga. It's like a purple, green, and white. And I have a label here. On this one, all my labels need to be cleaned up. So it is pink lightning bugleweed, also called ajuga. Before we stroll on down towards that way, Let's go back, show you what's in this garden bed. This is a magnolia. Let's see. It is a Leonard Mezzel magnolia. You can already tell it's going to be beautiful. And this was actually buried underneath a bunch of leaves. It's beautiful hellebore that looks like it's ready to bloom. Hellebores are evergreen. Look how gorgeous that is. The leaves are just perfect. They almost look unreal. I have to cover it here because I'm afraid the deer will eat it. Have some abelias here. There's one here, one there, and then another. Actually, there's 4. There's another one on the other side. Here's my boxwood topiary. I think I have some bulbs planted in there as well, and some mini hostas, some ivy in that pot. This is a peony bush that blooms white. Actually belonged to my mother. It's the only plant that is left from my mother's garden, so it's very special. Here's my Japanese forest grass. All died out for the winter, so hopefully it will come back. This tree is a privet tree, and I tried to dig it up to get rid of it. The roots were just too deep, so I gave up, and I ended up shaping it into a topiary. It is quite beautiful when it gets its leaves back. And then over here is one of my Protege gardens. I did do a video when I first put these gardens together with the boxwoods, the brick border. I did add more boxwoods, different variety of boxwoods here, just whatever I could find. Most of them are baby gems. In the center of this Protege, I have a little Miss Kim lilac topiary tree. The deer have wreaked a little bit of havoc on it. So of course I have to put netting on it. And then there are lots of bulbs planted in here, some tulips. I also think I have onion or garlic. I think this is actually garlic. Lots of garlic growing. And these are my tomato cages because this is where I plant my tomatoes in this garden bed, different varieties of tomatoes. And so instead of putting my cages up, I use them to keep the deer out of the garden bed. And some other things I use to just keep it covered so the deer don't step in here. Okay, so I'm gonna go back over here. Let's see all the nasty mud. Yeah, that's a whole another project. Okay, and on the other side of this garden bed, I have a old gold juniper. There's a Jack Frost Brunera. I think there's actually 2 of them. Hopefully they come back. This abelia is called Edward Goucher. I have a couple other varieties of abelias as well. And this is a beautiful hydrangea. It is called, let's see, Moon Dance. It's a white blooming hydrangea, of course. Moon Dance. All right, so I'm just moving back across, and I have another old gold juniper on the other side. So I showed you, let's see, let me step back here. So there's an old gold juniper there, and then another one there. So hopefully as it gets bigger, it will come out over this pathway or over the rock And then that one will too. So I think that creates a nice look. And another azalea behind Rebecca. There's also some irises. I think they're Siberian irises. And they're all along the back here. This is a black lace elderberry, destroyed by the deer, but still looks alive. As you can see, it's got new buds on it. Have to cover it up when it starts to leaf out. Beautiful Alberta spruce swirl. Lovely. Green velvet boxwood. There is a China Girl holly. Roses Sharon standard. I think it blooms white and pink. Boxwood. I think it's a winter gem. Not sure. And I believe there are bulbs in there. More boxwoods. And then this is a spirea. I think it's an ash. Yeah, there's a label over here. It's the ash leaf spirea. It's budding out quite nicely. And there's another one on this side. And then underneath this trellis here, or obelisk, is a clematis. I think there's 2 clematis vines. Okay, so we have another arborvitae, some more boxwoods. I believe this is another spirea ash leaf. That's a 9 bark. Here's another elderberry. And then this is an emerald green arborvitae. Beautiful. I think that's the biggest arborvitae that I have. Here is a beautiful Nandina that is really showing off some beautiful winter interest here. We have some irises. I think these are bearded irises. And then back here, this is an Alice oak leaf hydrangea, which used to be a lot bigger. We already know what happened to that. Hopefully it will recover. This is a pencil yew, I think. It's either a pencil yew or a pencil holly. I'm not sure. I think it's a pencil yew. Looks more like a yew. It's a climbing rose. And then some other shrub roses back there. More boxwoods. It is a yew. It's called an Irish yew. There it is. There's another emerald green arborvitae. This is probably my most favorite evergreen. Gorgeous all year long. But of course it's more blue in the winter. And this is a baby blue spruce. And then there are a group of serviceberry trees. 1 here, and then 3 in the back. And here is my pencil holly, tucked in there. Here's a privet, a little privet bush. Beautiful boxwood here, one of my bigger boxwoods. There's another emerald green arborvitae, some lamb's ear. And here are my pitiful looking foxgloves that were once so beautiful. They were blooming up until probably a few weeks ago. I was quite surprised. And they do bloom white. Another privet. It's a 9-bark. It's actually an elderberry there, or elder bush. It's a blue point juniper that I got during the Lowe's winter clearance sale this year, or actually last year. But it has grown, seemingly, it looks like it's grown a lot in just a few weeks. More boxwoods. And I forgot to mention that there are bulbs planted. Definitely some underneath this little cloche here. Hostas and astilbes underneath this tree. And here is a different variety of Nandinas back here. This one is called Firepower Dwarf Nandina. Beautiful color. And there's one of my arborvitaes from the Lowe's haul. Still doing well. It's a red dogwood, red bark dogwood. This is a spirea, burning bush. I have another red dogwood. This one I've had longer. You can definitely see the beautiful red bark. I have the yellow ones in the front and then the red in the back. I may actually get more to really brighten this area up back here because this looks gorgeous in the winter time. And I have a juniper, I believe that's what it is. And it has become a topiary because the cat, I'm not sure if it was Kitty, but a cat was using it as a scratching pole, and I had to end up taking off the lower leaves. I actually have another one on the other side. This is a 9-bark here, and I have it protected. That's why you see the tomato cages and mesh wire around it. And in this basket there is a plumbago. I'm not sure if it's going to come back. Hoping. Some creeping Jenny planted around it as well. Bulbs under here, and when I say bulbs, it's mostly daffodils because the deer love tulips, so I can't plant as many tulips as I would like to, so I mostly just plant daffodils. See right here, this is what I'm talking about. My beautiful euonymus. Another beautiful evergreen. Little bunny. Some corabels. This area back here is the far back garden, only because, you know, it's the farthest part of the yard. It's more like a woodland garden. This is a beautiful evergreen plant. This is a Pyrrhus. I think that's how you say it. I have some of these in the front as well, but the ones back here seem to be doing much better. But yes, this is looking gorgeous in the winter garden. Burning bush, another one from my Lowe's haul. On this pathway here, I have some barberries. I think these are barberries. And then these are hydrangeas, the bloom struck. Have some snowflake viburnums on each side. I see a label here. It is a viburnum Japanese snowball. And arborvitaes are doing well in the pots. Also have bulbs in the pots. Made the pathway extra dirty because it is so muddy out here. There's a yucca. They actually bloomed last year. Beautiful white flowers. Some years they don't bloom at all. Another spirea. I believe this is Little Princess. And another Pyrrhus. Beautiful evergreen shrub. These are the leather leaf viburnums. I have 3 of them. The deer been messing with that one, but this one looks a lot better. And then in front, I have a row of Glow Girl spireas. A whole row of them here in front. Kind of hard to see, but those are all Glow Girl spireas. This is my little black mushroom. And then behind it, I have another burning bush. Oh my gosh, look at this. See, this is what I'm talking about again. Okay, moving on. This is a 9 bark. It's an Amber Jubilee. Another beautiful Pyrrhus that has not bloomed, but it still has beautiful foliage. And then back here, there's another yucca. There's some evergreens and an abelia in that old trunk. Another arborvitae, and this is another hydrangea. And this one is called Twist and Shout. So Rosa Sharon. There's some yarrow down there. There's another red twig dogwood and another cypress. Yes, I think I called the other one a juniper. It's actually a cypress. And as you can see, where the cat used it as a scratching post. Yeah. So this is a Leland cypress. Sorry. You are not a juniper. You're a cypress. But it's a beautiful evergreen. So hopefully it survives. There's a quince in the middle, a 9 bark. And these are all yews circling this concrete fountain. There's also some bulbs planted. These are moms under these cloches. There are bulbs. These are actually, let's see, blue muscari, grape hyacinth, barberry. This one is called gold pillar barberry. Another burning bush. Spirea on each side. Then going down a little path. These are some beautiful shrubs. Got these on clearance. And these are called Sapphire Surf Bluebeard. Gorgeous. And the deer do not like these at all. And they smell really good. Have beautiful blue flowers. Hence the name, Bluebeard. And then this here is my blackberry patch that the birds pretty much harvest for me. A little painted rock there. Some more shrubs over here. You can see the damage once again. The deer like to hang out back here and they just walk through and break stuff off because clearly there's nothing to eat here. There's an Annabelle back there. It's actually an Annabelle on the other side too. I missed it. It's a Viking chokeberry. There's a barberry. There are some tiger lilies or ditch lilies planted along this fence here. The arborvitae in this pot. This is a 9-bark wine and roses. These were in the black garden, this one, and I think that one is as well. And I took them out of the black garden and put them over here. And then underneath this huge tree, there is a row of hostas. Actually, there are 2 rows of hostas. And then I have some Russian sage. Those are lilacs, a row of lilacs in the back. The black garden. Not much has changed since the last time I showed you guys this garden bed. This is the new addition. Bulbs are planted. Blue star juniper. This is a iris. It's the old black magic. And I only got one because just this one was kind of expensive. So I'm hoping that it does, you know, spread out and grow so I can split it up and put some on the other side. That's the plan. This is a Wagilla dark horse. And I have the Alberta spruce in the black pot. Did a video on the mondo grass, the black mondo grass, still looking good. Looks like it may have grown just a little bit. Corbels. The other pot. Hanging basket. I forgot to show you the other one. Still looking good. Black mondo grass looking good. Alberta spruce. And another Alberta spruce. This is a smoke bush. There's one on the other side I forgot to show you guys. Just the same variety. Same Wagilla, dark horse. Blue point juniper. Junipers around the border. There's also some black pearl corbels here in the front. On the other side as well. I didn't really show you guys. There's not much to see. And then I have my tulip bulbs safely underneath this cloche. These are the black parrot tulips. And then underneath this big tree, I have a bunch of hostas, a couple of rows of hostas. Here is it's called a Mexican male fern. There are a bunch of astilbes and what does that say? Agilia? So mostly hostas under this tree. And here's the other Protege on this side. Kitchen garden. Just to give you a better view. These are bigger boxwoods on this side. I think these are all the same variety. These are all baby gems, I think. And I did add more since I did that first video. I did fill in all of the wider spaces with actually smaller baby gems. These were like 5 gallons, and I think these were just 1. I'm not sure. But as you can see, it's a bigger difference. It's just way too expensive to buy the bigger boxwoods. So one day, they'll fill it in. But anyway, it's pretty much the same setup as the other Protege. I have my tomato cages. Tomato cages inside, keep the deer out. And another Little Miss Kim lilac standard. Some garlic planted. There are also tulips planted in the middle, and a juga on the borders. So over here on this side of the shed is my blueberry patch. It used to be the strawberry patch, but I moved the strawberries to the veg truck because I want to plant more strawberries and be able to harvest more because I love strawberries. So these blueberries used to be in a pot, and I ended up putting them in here. There are 4 blueberry plants. One of them is a sharp blue blueberry, but I think they're different varieties. And they are bordered with strawberries, because I think they are good companion plants. So I added the strawberries. So we'll see how this works out. So in front of this shed, it needs repainting, but anyway, there are these cotton ester shrubs. And then these 3 over here are a different variety that look to be evergreen or semi-evergreen. A snowball bush. And then we have a Green Mountain boxwood. And then in these concrete pots, I have 3 carex. These are Evercolor. And then on the other side, same setup. Alright, so it brings us over here to this area of the garden that I call my courtyard. And the veg truck garden. Alright, so let's check out what's in the veg truck. I already told you guys, strawberries. But let's check them out. So I don't know if I'll get strawberries, because I did cut them down pretty low, but they still look really good. In the middle, I do have my fire pit. Absolutely love it. So when you light it up, you can see the shape of the moon and the stars, which was originally the theme of my garden, a moon garden, because most of my flowering plants and some shrubs, trees, bloom white. Here we have the beautiful rosemary, and I have to touch it because it smells so good. This is a smoke bush, different from the other smoke bushes. This one is a golden spirit, has a green golden color to the foliage. Still creates that smoke look. Now, I'm not sure what this ground cover is. Could be like a creeping thyme, but it looks gorgeous. And then behind the smoke bush, this is a corkscrew tree. Looks pretty good. I believe these are azaleas. One on the other side. And then there's some other smaller perennials in there. And this is a golden globe arborvitae. More rosemary, another azalea. Same setup as the other side. And there is a juga growing under the veg drag. I'm gonna go this way and make my way back around. Another summer wine 9 bark. And this is supposed to be a little succulent garden in my little old wagon. I've had this wagon for probably over 20 years. And it's always been in my garden. I finally painted it black because it was all rusted out. So I think I'm gonna work on this little wagon and add some more succulents to it. I'm not sure if these are gonna survive. Oh, my little meditating frog here falling over. See if there's anything I missed. These plants I actually got on clearance at Walmart for only $1, and they all pretty much look like this. This one's still struggling, but now you can see they are growing and looking good. That one's struggling, but for $1 I took a chance and I think it was worth it. Even if I lose a couple, still look pretty good. And these are lily turf silver dragon. Let's visit the vegetable garden while we're here. Oh, check this out. I wonder who did this. This is my Japanese maple. That is just heartbreaking. So it's kind of sitting a little bit crooked. Let me go the other way. And I'm so heartbroken. It looks like it's, you know, still alive and everything, but when I first discovered that, it was actually leaning way over. And I tried to put it back in and secure it to this bamboo stick better. I'll have to wait until the soil's not frozen to straighten it back up all the way. But yeah. That is a Japanese coral bark tree with some hostas planted underneath it. And these are some Alberta spruce. This one from my recent Lowe's haul. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in these two little blue pots. Maybe some little boxwoods. These are called honeycomb planters. And plan on maybe planting some cucumbers in both of these. I'm not sure yet, but they do have the built-in trellis. This is the vegetable garden. I have my black raised beds with greenhouse covers. Now I could put the covers on and the greens would do a lot better, but I just didn't want to because I knew I was not going to be doing that much planting to set up those covers. I kind of just like the look of them without the covers, and I won't be planting anything else until the spring. So yeah, so I pulled up all the greens from this side. I have boxwoods going down the middle, which I'm not even sure I'll keep the boxwoods. I'm not sure yet. I want to pull them up. More rosemary in these pots here. In these two beds in the front, I still have to get greenhouse covers, which is why I never did an update, because I wanted to get those covers first, but I will have them soon. But anyway, in the meantime, I went ahead and planted garlic, because that's about the only thing, besides onions, that the animals do not mess with. They'll step in the garden bed, but they do not dig up or pull up or eat the garlic. So this is all garlic that I planted in November, I think. And I just planted them in the front beds. And they're growing. Garlic does very well. So I like growing garlic. I don't love garlic like that, but I love growing garlic. And then if I step back, on this arbor is a grapevine that is growing. I've only had one bunch of grapes, like one little bunch, because the deer keep messing with it. So hopefully I'll get some more grapes. This one is a seeded grape. It's a purple grape. And then on this side I have a green seedless grape. And this one's new. I just got this one late last year. But it would be nice to be able to harvest a lot of grapes. Alright, so that is the vegetable garden. Alright, so let me show you guys my little backyard orchard. I have 3 fruit trees on this side. That's a pear tree and 2 apple trees. So this is a pear tree, and I have harvested pears, not very many, for at least 2 years. There would be more if the squirrel and deer didn't mess with it. And I have some boxwoods underplanted with bulbs. These are either tulips or daffodils, I don't remember. I think they are tulips, the same tulips that the Protege gardens have. And then there's some perennials in here as well. I have some coneflower and some gara. In all of my trees, I do have these mirrors that are supposed to help deter the squirrels and the birds, but not really. And then over here, this is a golden apple or yellow apple. The deer have almost destroyed this poor tree. This is a new tree to the orchard. As you can see, got some broken branches. Hopefully I'll get some apples. Underplanted with more boxwoods, and there are bulbs planted as well with the ajuga border. And these are just some broken bricks that I had and decided to use them as a border. And then this is another apple tree. It's a gala apple. It's growing pretty tall, but all of the lower branches have been damaged. And I do put netting on the trees. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. As you can see, the deer just break the branches off. All the fruit trees pretty much have the same setup with the boxwoods, the ajuga, coneflowers, white blooming coneflowers. I think they're powwow, and gara, gala apple. As you can see, I was just over there. There are the apple trees there. So now on this side, I have it set up for 3. This one didn't make it. It died, so I pulled it up. Thinking of replacing this one with a peach tree. It used to be a pear, another pear tree here. And there's bulbs planted on the insides. And the boxwoods look quite nice, forming a nice circle. And this one also has the brick border. And then this is a crab apple tree. Same setup. The boxwoods. And then this tree over here is a pear tree. It's kind of misshapen like the rest of them because all of the branches back here, the deer have broken off. So it's kind of uneven, but I'm just going to leave it alone. But it looks to be about the healthiest of all the fruit trees. And this is a Pyrus luscious pear. Alright, so I'm going to go over here to this other fruit tree that is also part of the orchard. It's just separated out here. Alright, so right in front of the Protege, there's the other 3 fruit trees. Here's another fruit tree. It's kind of separated from the rest of them because I wanted one here and then another on that side. That one, the deer destroyed so I have to replace it. It was a plum tree. This one is a plum tree. It's a damson plum. First plum tree that I got for the orchard, and I got it at a nursery, and it's supposed to already have produced fruit. It has not. It's been in the garden 3 years. No fruit. Beautiful leaves, some flowers, but no fruit yet. So maybe this is the year. But the deer do mess with it as well. I don't know. I think it's got some issues. But there used to be a big branch there, and it's broken off. So I don't know if it's gonna produce any fruit. We'll see. I have it underplanted with some more abelias. And this abelia is called Rose Creek. Rose Creek. Some more liriope, of course, hydrangea. There are bulbs planted. So that's it. And then I also have my little bicycle over here. I had this bicycle over 20 years, and it used to be blue. I had it stored in my shed, and I finally decided to add it to the garden. So I usually just put annuals in here. There is some ivy left over. So I don't know, I may try planting evergreens in it, because I'd like it to have some interest in the winter as well. So over here in the back of the house, it's my little work area, but I do have some plants in planters. So this was once a file cabinet, you can kind of tell. I just have some pansies and some green velvet boxwoods, and I painted it black. When it's nice and full, it looks like a really nice planter and not so much like a file cabinet. But that was a little do-it-yourself project. All my bamboo sticks. This is my potting bench that I need to clean out. But of course, I'm not doing that until the spring. Here is a arborvitae and a planter. And I have another file cabinet planter with some green velvet boxwoods, some more leftover pansies that are still surviving. Another boxwood here in this extremely heavy concrete planter. This is a green velvet boxwood. These are my favorite boxwoods because they keep shape like naturally. You don't have to do anything to them, and they stay green. This is another arborvitae in that pot. Other side of the porch, same pot, same plant, green velvet boxwood. Have some ivy planted in here as well, and then another arborvitae in this pot. So this is the gazebo garden. At each corner, there are little garden beds. Have Alberta spruce in a pot, dwarf Alberta spruce, of course the hydrangea border, and then this plant here is called a snow mound spirea. And this shrub here, absolutely beautiful. It blooms, it has a chartreuse green foliage, blooms white in the spring, and I have one on each corner of this gazebo. And then I have a 9-bark here. This is a passion flower vine, or passion fruit. Doesn't look like it's doing that well. It may not have survived the last frost. It's not doing that great, but I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. There's my boxwood from my Lowe's haul. Looking good. Dwarf Alberta spruce. Some strawberries in a strawberry pot. Another evergreen from my Lowe's haul. You can see the squirrels have been busy. These two are from the Lowe's haul, and then I already had 2 other ones. So they're on each corner on the inside. Other boxwood. Pretty much the same setup, very similar setup on each corner. Here's my Dollar Tree strawberries. Didn't originally have this cloche on here, and that's how the deer got me. They were so lush and full and producing strawberries, and they ate all the strawberries down and the leaves, and so it's actually growing, which is good. So I had to protect it with this cloche. Here is a swirl dwarf Alberta spruce. The deer have been munching on, so I had to put netting on it. They usually don't mess with the evergreens, but for some reason they've been messing with this one. Another 9 bark. And then this is a viburnum. It's called Summer Snowflake. Viburnum blooms beautiful white flowers. It's another beautiful spirea. Let's see, what is this called? Oh, it's called Fire Gold. Fire Gold. This is a must-have spirea. I think it's one of the most beautiful spireas. They make a nice impact in a spring garden. So, like I said, those are on each corner of the gazebo. Same thing. Another Fire Gold spirea. Another snowflake viburnum, and a 9 bark. And the 9 bark is called Little Devil. It's a dark foliage 9 bark. And then in this little pot stand, one of my favorite little evergreens. This one is called Sienna Sunset Arborvitae. It has this bronze color in the winter, but as the weather warms, of course, it gets its green back, and it's the cutest little evergreen. I kind of have it shaped like a little topiary ball, but it is beautiful, and I've had this for 2 years, so I think it stays in this little shape. They're planted with some sedums and creeping jenny hanging out from the sides. All right, so I think I have shown you guys the entire backyard garden. It is cold out here. I have on gloves and my hands are still cold. We are expecting some snow tomorrow, so I wanted to get this garden tour in before the snow comes back. All right, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this tour. I'm so looking forward to the spring to show you guys even more, because so many things have not made their appearance yet. So I'm excited to see everything come back up. A lot of new things I planted, so I'm excited to see how they do. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.